Iconic blue-domed buildings and breathtaking sunsets. Discover Santorini's magic. Santorini magic. The arrival. The ferry cut through the cerulean waters of the Aegean, carrying tourists eager for their first glimpse of Santorini's legendary skyline. Among them was Elena Vasquez, a seasoned photographer whose assignment was simple: capture the essence of the island's beauty. But as she leaned against the rail, camera clutched in her hands, she felt an unsettling presence watching her. She turned, but only saw the crowd, a sea of strangers bathed in the golden afternoon light. Shaking off the feeling, she refocused on the approaching cliffs, their whitewashed buildings gleaming like scattered pearls. As the ferry docked, Elena stepped onto the cobbled streets of Oia, inhaling the scent of sea salt and baked stone. The charm of Santorini was undeniable. Everywhere she looked, tourists marveled at the blue-domed churches, the cascading terraces, the bursts of vibrant bougainvillea climbing the walls. Elena lost herself in the island's beauty, snapping photos at every turn, but the gnawing feeling of being watched refused to leave her. Her hands trembled slightly as she adjusted her lens, trying to shake the unease. Perhaps it was just the excitement of being in such a breathtaking place. But deep down, she knew something was wrong. A sinister presence. As Elena wandered deeper into the maze of alleyways, she noticed how the afternoon sun cast long shadows, stretching eerily across the smooth, white walls. She had just raised her camera to capture the interplay of light and shadow when she caught a flicker of movement from the corner of her eye. A man in a linen suit stood beneath an archway, his hands in his pockets, his dark eyes locked onto her. Their gazes met for an instant before he turned away, vanishing into the crowd. A chill prickled down Elena's spine. Her breath quickened. Was she imagining things? Or was he really following her? She continued forward, her pulse hammering with each step. The sounds of laughter and chatter filled the air, yet she felt isolated, trapped in an invisible game of cat and mouse. As she approached the famous sunset viewpoint, the golden hues bathing the horizon, she told herself she was being irrational. She was here to capture Santorini's magic, not get lost in paranoia. She had just set up her tripod when a strong hand clamped over her mouth. A hushed, desperate voice whispered into her ear, "You need to leave. Now." Panic surged through her veins. She struggled, elbowing her assailant, and spun around to face him. It was the man from earlier, his face now marked with urgency. "They're coming for you," he said, his eyes darting around the crowd. "Run." Before she could demand an explanation, a deafening crack split the air. A bullet struck the stone wall inches from her head. Screams erupted as the crowd scattered. Elena grabbed her camera and ran. The chase. The world around Elena blurred as she dashed through the winding streets, her heart thudding against her ribs. Who was trying to kill her? And why? Her mysterious rescuer caught up, grabbing her wrist and pulling her into a small courtyard. He pressed his back against the wall, chest heaving. "You took a picture of something you weren't supposed to," he muttered. "Go through your shots." Hands trembling, she scrolled through her camera's memory. Sunsets, domes, alleys. Nothing out of the ordinary. But then she saw it. A man standing outside a villa, engaged in a hushed conversation with another whose face was partially obscured. A jolt of recognition hit her. The second man was a known arms dealer, one who had supposedly disappeared years ago. "This is why they want you silenced," her rescuer confirmed grimly. "You have proof he's alive." Elena's stomach clenched. This wasn't just about a photograph. She had unknowingly stumbled upon something much bigger, something powerful men would kill to keep hidden. She had to get out of Santorini and fast. The escape. As night cloaked the island, the sense of danger grew sharper. Elena and her unlikely protector moved through the back alleys, their footsteps muffled by the ancient stones. They needed to reach the old port before the killers found them. Every shadow, every echo made her flinch. The once enchanting beauty of Santorini had transformed into a labyrinth of peril. Just as they reached the winding path leading to the docks, headlights flared ahead. A black SUV screeched to a halt, blocking their escape. The doors burst open, armed men spilling out. "Run to the boats," her rescuer shouted, shoving her forward. Elena sprinted, her lungs burning. Behind her, gunfire erupted, bullets ricocheting off stone walls. She spotted a small fishing vessel and dove inside, frantically untying the ropes as her companion leaped aboard. The engine roared to life, propelling them away from the island. Elena's hands clutched the camera to her chest, her breaths ragged. Santorini's twinkling lights faded into the distance, replaced by the vast, endless sea. Relief flooded her veins, but she knew this wasn't over. She had uncovered a secret that powerful people wanted buried, and they would not stop until she was silenced. As the waves carried them further into the unknown, she met her rescuer's gaze. "What now?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. He exhaled, eyes dark with determination. "Now, we expose the truth.